Hello and thank you for joining us on another episode of Inside the Nest. I'm John Kosoban. This past week was a busy one for Montclair sports, and it was kicked off on Tuesday when the Red Hawks hosted the Kane Cougars at Panzer for the NJAC volleyball semifinal. Montclair entered this one as a 2 seed, securing their first round bye after a 4-1 season.
On top of the NJAC semifinal, it was also senior night for the volleyball team as they celebrated Captain Sierra Herbert before her final match at Panzer. Montclair got off to a fast start in the first set, up 4-1. The spike from Leah Higgins is too strong and makes it 5-1. Kane charged back though, and with things deadlocked at 10, Maddie Valco with a spectacular save. Fresh off 3 straight Defensive Player of the Week honors. Caitlin Monaghan getting in there as well, and an 11-10 lead for the Red Hawks. An intensely competitive first set was defined by this though, both teams continuing to trade points until an incredible momentum-shifting rally tied at 19. Here's the call.
Now St. Pierre with a dive to keep it alive. Waterman sends it over. And a nice little volley that we have here. That one was blocked by Arias but kept up, so Kane somehow staying alive in this exchange here. Waterman sends it over. And once again, it's kept alive. A leap, a soft touch. Rizzo keeps it in the air. St. Pierre over to Waterman. A slap blocked. Valco keeps it up. Back to Arias now. Too much to handle for Delio. And what a win there from the Red Hawks, 20-19.
Montclair would take the set and once again come out storming in the second, going on a 4-0 run to start things out. And then this play by freshman Skylar Rizzo, a laser to the back line, 5-0 Red Hawks. And then later in the set, some dramatic dives from Valco and then Higgins on the far side, saving the rally and keeping the pressure on. A 7-point lead at this stage of the game, and right here it would move to 8. Delaney St. Pierre with 29 assists on the day goes cross-court to Higgins, who makes it 12-4 Montclair. And they began putting the finishing touches on the second set in style, 20-11 later on, and St. Pierre elevates to slam it home. Red Hawks would take set 2 with ease. And then later in the third, who else but Higgins, a screaming strike, just one of her team high 15 kills on the night. Great performance for her and the team. And then Carly Waterman finishing things off, a 3-0 match sweep for Montclair, sending them to the conference finals against Stockton.
This is what volleyball moms are made of. Being back up in the stands, rooting for the team, and just having fun and the camaraderie with all the other parents. This is what we all live for. This was really, truly exciting. So it's been a rough year, as you know. Bittersweet, of course, because this is it. She'll be graduating in May, and we're just so very thankful for this opportunity.
And in that highly anticipated NJAC Championship match, the Red Hawks went down to Galloway, New Jersey this past Thursday to square off against the undefeated Stockton Ospreys as the only team to win a set against them all season. And it was definitely a face-off the conference could see coming from a mile away. The Ospreys kicked off the match blazing hot though, scoring 10 of the first 15 points. Senior Julie Koloff getting in on the action there. The Red Hawks look really good as well. Here's Carly Waterman far side with one of her 6 kills on the night. Great season and game from her. Later on, Ospreys up by 12. Francesca Gustav rises up above the net and closes out the set. Stockton up 1-0. Set number 2 started off tight. A couple of plays off and around the net, and eventually Stockton sends one over, but it's too wide and Montclair ties things at 4. And then a few minutes later, Stockton with a 7-4 lead, initiating this long volley. Skylar Rizzo almost ends it right there, but a sweet dig keeps it up. Red Hawks thought they had it, but had to keep pushing. And then Carly Waterman once again far side gets stuffed, but St. Pierre and Valco give her a second chance. This one gets through, but is dug out. Ospreys relentless on the attack, and Montclair matching them in intensity. but in comes Clifton native Christy Lure with the hard-fought dagger to double the lead. And that energy was brought the entire rest of the way. Match point featured a sizable rally, capped off here by a tip-over from Koloff for the 25-18 win and a commanding 2-0 lead in the match. Early in the third set, Redhawks looking to turn the tide and putting up a great defensive front right here. Gianna Arias and Leah Higgins getting up there to contend. And then later, down 13-6, a nice dig from Waterman prolongs the rally. Montclair trying to keep their season alive at this point, and another great effort from Waterman and some action at the net rewards them the point. But unfortunately, later in the match, things would come to a close. 24-13 score, and another senior, Sophia Marziello, deals the finishing blow. 3-set win for the NJAC title, Stockton's second in a row and 14th ever, ending a fantastic season for the Redhawks, but a great run for them nonetheless, and a bright future ahead.
Yeah, no, I can't say enough how proud I am of this team. This has been an amazing season. There's a lot of adversity and a lot of things that we had to, endure during the fall and during the spring. But our team did it without having to take a pause. With all the COVID issues and regulations and everything, we continued to train in the fall. We had a great spring season. I can't say enough of how proud I am of them as players, but also their character and how they really handled this season, on and off the court. I'm very proud of this team.
The Montclair State women's soccer team hosted William Patterson on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. In the 4th minute, the Redhawks started to threaten. Sophia Ambrosio has a pass put on her plate, but she misses it wide. The match remained even. Later on, Isabella Fernandez led the Pioneers on a counter, and she delivers with an excellent finish to take the lead. William Patterson 1-0 at the end of the first half. Early in the second half, senior defender Catherine Carnival puts a ball in the box, and the keeper punches it right to Lauren Ernest for the tap in. MSU levels the game at 1. In the 68th minute of the game, things were still even, and then, right down the sideline, Jessica DiNarzo scores a magnificent goal from what originally looked like to be a cross. MSU goes up 2-1. However, the Redhawks were not done yet. Tara Lambert gets through the defense, and she crosses it to Sophia Ambrosio for the finish. MSU goes up 3-1. The Redhawks still were not satisfied though, as Lambert goes back on the attack. She dribbles past the defenders and finds Ambrosio at the penalty spot, making her score her second goal of the day. After falling behind early, the Redhawks stormed back and won convincingly by a score of 4-1. This puts their record at 3-0-1 on the season. Before the game, the Montclair women's soccer team had their senior night, where they acknowledged all of the hard work the senior players have put into the team. One of those seniors includes Phoebe Bledose. Over her career, she has started in over 25 games and blocked over 90 shots. Her dedication to the team has earned her the starting position in the 2021 season. Montclair State's starting goalkeeper, Phoebe Bledose, couldn't help herself from her favorite position, even after her mother warned her the day of her very first second-grade soccer practice.
She said, "Do not be a goalie. They're going to ask for volunteers. You don't want to stand there. You don't want to get the ball shot at you." And that day at practice, they asked who wants to volunteer to be a goalie, and I just raised my hand and I wanted to do it.
Phoebe's love for the game helped her high school team win first team All-Conference and second team All-State. She's also played in multiple NJAC tournament games and was even named NJAC Rookie of the Week twice back in 2017. This skill and dedication to the game has not gone unnoticed.
She's become, for my money, the best goalkeeper in the conference because she's just so consistent. She doesn't make any mistakes. She needs to score great goals to beat her.
Now Stockton has it again. Racing forward, a shot caught by Bledose.
She's had to work really hard because obviously we had 5 goalies going in, so she works really hard on and off the field. She also pushes everyone else, not just herself.
When I was told I was going to be starting this season, I was excited and nervous. I've grown so much as a player. I've worked super hard, and what I've grown from the most was with being on the team and being able to interact with everyone.
Phoebe has many goals and high expectations for the season.
Be a strong leader and get as many shutouts as possible. And then a team goal, obviously, is win the NJAC. Every NJAC we've been in has fueled our team. Just personally, I've never won an NJAC title, so just getting so close and not being able to achieve that goal and get that title is just so motivating in itself. It fuels our fire, basically.
Baseball geared up against NJCU in the first game of a doubleheader this past Thursday. Let's dive into the highlights. Bottom of the first, 2 outs, MSU up 2-0, Sam Angelo at the plate and Chris Walker at second. Angelo drills a double to right center, sending Walker home on the play. Redhawks now up 3-0 early in the game. MSU got up big quick, now 8-0 with 2 outs and a man on. Peter Cosentino steps up, and he lines a double of his own to left field. Joe Norton scores in the play, and the inning ends with a commanding 9-0 lead for the Redhawks. Bottom of the 8th inning here with 1 out, Jason Moore up to bat.
Takes this one deep into left field, and it's back, and it is gone. The first home run of the day for the Redhawks, and it is Jason Moore off the second pitch he's seen in his first plate appearance of the day.
That home run sealed the win for the Redhawks by a score of 12-3. The Redhawks hoping to keep momentum going in Game 2 of this doubleheader. Here with the bases loaded, while NJCU were up by 1, when Andrew Olwerther clears the bases with a double to left field. The Redhawks now on the board, and they lead by a score of 3-1. Bottom of the 5th inning now, the score 4-1 in favor of the Redhawks. Freshman Michael Murphy at the plate, and he will have a triple of his own that would score Christopher Walker. So the Redhawks added to their lead, and the score is now 5-1. We now move to the top of the 8th inning. NJCU up at bat, and they're down a run. And it's Elijah Colon at the plate. And Colon snaps at this pitch and rips a single straight up the middle that brings Justin Moreno home. It was a huge comeback for NJCU, tying the game up at 6. We would need extra innings to decide this one. Now to the top of the 11th here, unable to break the tie, just tied at 8. NJCU's Moreno sends a double to right center, which brings in 2 runs for the Gothic Knights. And at this point, NJCU is up 10-8. Now, bases are loaded. At the bottom of the 11th, no outs for MSU, and sophomore Sam Angelo gets hit by the pitch, sending Andrew Olwerther home. The Redhawks slowly cutting at NJCU's lead, making it 10-9. Brad Edwards now at bat. And it's another slip-up in pitching for NJCU as they walk Edwards. 10-10 now, not a single out yet for the Redhawks. As the rain begins to pour at Yogi Berra Stadium, senior Anthony Garino comes to bat looking to be the hero for his team.
And he swings this one. That is going to be the game winner. Garino rips it in between the gap. And Montclair State will win. It's Eric Havner with the game-winning run. And they go mob Garino. Montclair State wins this by a score of 11-10. An absolute instant classic here at Yogi Berra Stadium. I mean, what can you say about that game?
You can't say anything, and these Redhawks are on fire. They take both games of the doubleheader, and they are now 6-1 on the season. The Stockton Ospreys visited the Yogi Berra Stadium this past weekend under beautiful weather for another doubleheader for the baseball team. Coming off of a sweep against NJCU on Thursday, the Redhawks look to continue the tremendous success they've had this season thus far. As we get into Game 1, top of the first, the Stockton leadoff hitter, Marco Maleo, ripped a double and then advanced to third off of a rare balk. Following this mistake, he scurried home off of a wild pitch to score the first run of the game. Ospreys up 1-0. It's 2-0 now as we move to the top of the sixth with no outs, where Ryan Swift attempts to steal second from the Redhawks but fails as the arm of Anthony Guarino catches him. We see a great bit of sportsmanship here as he helps up the MSU shortstop. Later in the inning, Nick Trifoletti steps up as he belts a homer, putting the Ospreys up 3-0 now in the top of the sixth. However, it would be the Redhawks' turn next in the bottom of the sixth with a man on first and second, one out, as Anthony Guarino is up again, this time sending home the first run of the game for the Redhawks with an RBI single. It's now 3-1 in favor of the Ospreys. On to the bottom of the seventh with a score of 3-2 now as Stockton makes their first pitching change. MSU has a man on first and second with two outs, and it's Michael Murphy who gets the shot as he rips a double down the left field line, sending home both runners, making it 3-4 Redhawks. The very next batter, Sam Angelo, creates a gap as he singles to right, sending in another run, making it 3-5. Bottom of the eighth now, with the rake man himself up to bat, Peter Cosentino smashes a two-run homer to make it 3-7 Redhawks. And that was all they needed as they took game one 4-7. Game 2 now, with the Redhawks out to an early 1-2 lead. We're on the top of the second as the Ospreys have two men on and a run already on the board as Mike Costanzo launches a two-run shot to center field, putting them up 3-2. Bottom half of the inning now with two men out and one on as Peter Cosentino continues his excellent season and drives home a run with a double that beams right off the pitcher. Tie ball game. Bottom of the fourth now, Stockton with a thin lead 4-3 with Cosentino up to bat again, and he annihilates a home run to center field, his second of the day and fifth of the season, and it's tied yet again. Late in the game now, bottom of the eighth inning, as the runs just kept on coming in this one, it's now 7-5 Ospreys. But just when all hope seemed lost, the Redhawks loaded the bases with two outs. And it's Eric Havner who saves the day with a game-tying double down the left field line. And that ties the game up at 7. Now 7-8 with Anthony Guarino up next, as he too continues his stellar day at the plate and drives home a run with a single to left field, padding the lead by a score of 7-9. The Redhawks never looked back as they continued to put on just a bit more, and they finished the game with an 8-10 victory and secured a doubleheader sweep over the Stockton Ospreys.
On a beautiful Saturday morning at Sprague, the Redhawks take on the Riverhawks, looking to build upon their second win of the season from last week. 2.5 minutes into the game, Kyle Matthews with the face-off at midfield, wins it, breaks away down the field, makes a couple of passes, and eventually Mike McCreary finds the back of the net assisted from Big Brother Tyler, putting MSU up 2-0. Time expiring in the first, Matt DeSex with the unassisted goal, making the MSU lead 6-4 going into the second quarter. 2 minutes in the third, Christian Boyle gets a goal of his own, giving him a hat-trick and a Redhawk lead 12-8. As MSU pulls away in the fourth, Connor McCoy notches his fourth goal of the game, giving MSU a comfortable 14-8 lead. Time winding down in the game, Joe Covino scores and gets caught up in Cole Palmer's stick. Let's take another look at that one, folks, as right here, a step, and bam! Launches this thing about a yard away as MSU would secure the win as they go on to defeat Susquehanna 19-8. The Redhawks improved to 3-2 as they approach the halfway point of their season. The field hockey team came into Saturday's game against Stockton under enormous pressure as they looked to secure their first win of the season on Senior Day. Janelle Harden, Lizzie Simaluka, and Maddie Spolarich were the 3 senior athletes honored before the start of the game. The Ospreys came out with an aggressive game plan on offense but failed to convert on their opportunities in the first half. Off a penalty corner, Stockton's Hannah Westcoat would fire a shot that ended up being knocked away by goalie Lauren Pickle. Montclair State's offense nearly broke through at the end of the quarter, but Lizzie Simaluka's shot would be saved by Stockton goalkeeper Kylie Mitchell. Stockton would try to steal the momentum at the end of the second quarter, but Pickle makes the huge save on Gianna Morganti's shot to keep it a 0-0 tie at the end of the half. Montclair finally broke the scoring drought in the third as Carly Van Tassel would tally her second goal of the season off a penalty. Her teammates made sure to show her some love after that goal. Stockton wouldn't go down easy. Despite a great save by Pickle, Tori Wilson would come from the opposite side and smash the ball through the goal cage for Stockton's first goal of the game, making it 1-1 in the early minutes of the fourth. Stockton made 2 straight attempts at a game-winning goal, but Pickle stepped up big time to deny both goals, forcing this game into overtime. In overtime, it took the Redhawks a little over 2 minutes to seal the victory as Lizzie Simaluka would nail a penalty stroke goal to win the game 2-1. What a great game by both teams as the Redhawks were able to capture their first victory of the season on Senior Day. The Redhawks' next opponent is to be determined as the playoffs start this week. If you had to guess, which Montclair State athletic team uses something called Swim Buddies? Here's a hint. It's not the swimming and diving team, and the idea itself has nothing to do with the water. If you guessed field hockey, you'd be correct. The field hockey team has bonded on and off the field thanks to its Swim Buddies concept.
No water required. The idea was established by the Navy SEALs as a form of accountability towards one another and was implemented into the field hockey program a few years ago by former assistant Jacqueline Corder based on a book she read titled Team of Teams.
We would talk about different things, accountability for getting ready for the season and training on our own, just, what's going on in life, how are things been at home, away from campus. We spent a good amount of time talking about decision-making and just accountability when we were back together so that we could all stay healthy.
During a pandemic, it's hard to get to know new people, especially when those people are going to be your new teammates. To make the transition smoother, small groups of players met every other week to check in and see what was going on in each other's lives.
But it's definitely more someone that keeps you accountable, keeps you mentally ready to play, just kind of checks in on you, make sure you're doing good, those types of things. So for this year with COVID and everything, it was nice to just have someone that you had to meet with and could help you work through many of your issues, or just if you're having a rough day, someone that would reach out to you and be like, hey, what's going on?
Besides getting to know one another, one of the biggest goals of Swim Buddies is accountability, says senior captain Maddie Spolarich and sophomore Melissa Palin.
So a thing we do that holds each other accountable is when you see somebody on your Swim Buddy family do something wrong, you hold them accountable to do 5 push-ups with me. And you kind of look out for each other instead of focusing on a whole team that's doing different aspects wrong. You focus on your buddy. Those 4 people working together and looking out for one another, and then you have the other group of 5 people looking out for each other. That way you can have a little bit more of a concise group of people that are looking out for you, holding yourself accountable, making sure you're doing the right things at practice, working hard, giving 110% in each drill. That's one of the aspects that Swim Buddies is really able to benefit and help our team continue to work at a fast pace through each practice.
For anyone new to the Swim Buddies concept, junior Caitlin Osterland has one piece of advice that is key to bonding with your buddies. Trust.
Trust one another, trust each other, you're there for a common goal. So take the time to get to know your Swim Buddies. I feel our Swim Buddies, our relationship is very strong because we're not afraid to do things on our own without coach forcing it. So I feel that's just trust that they're gonna be your friends.
The Red Hawks rounded up 5 total NJAC awards this week, as 5 different players took home awards for their honorable performances. For football, Jalen Harris won Defensive Player of the Week as he leads MSU with 11 total tackles. Softball's Ali Cavallaro was awarded Rookie Pitcher of the Week as she earned her first career victory and first career start against William Patterson. For the women's soccer team, Kat Carnival scored Offensive Player of the Week after a 5-0 victory against Kane. Maddie Valco of the women's volleyball team snatched the Defensive Player of the Week award for the 3rd week in a row. Cross Country's Christiana Caprio was named second team All-NJAC after her individual performance at the 2021 Spring NJAC Championship at Stockton University on March 20th. MSU placed 3rd overall, and Caprio became the second Red Hawk since 2015 to be selected to the All-NJAC team. 10 different players from the swimming and diving team were recognized by the NJAC with conference honors. The players were Kristen Gillo Malabre, Iker Jacome, Ryan Capes, Alex Pollen, Ian Johnson, Paul Hauser, Spencer Dubois, Sam Golovin, Greg Carback, Christian Muleisen, and Tyler Dorsett. These players earned a combined 28 awards mixed with first team, second team, honorable mentions, and honorees. Congrats to the men's swimming and diving team. The men's swimming and diving team wasn't the only ones to be celebrated, as the women's swimming and diving team were recognized by the NJAC with conference honors as well. The players were Aaron Barrett, Juliet Dipplesquad, Danny Holmes, Sky Center, Molly Gray, Amanda Chiapetta, Molly Moore, Emily Rothmel, Taylor Waddleton, and Lydia Boguslawska. These players earned a combined 32 awards mixed with first team, second team, honorable mentions, and honorees. Congrats to the women's swimming and diving team. On behalf of the entire team here at RSN, this is Jonathan Edmond, and thank you for joining us.